GMB.TV. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? We still have a partial government shutdown. We had one vote. Looks like we're trying to make another vote. We'll see what happens with that. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot going on at the moment. We've got a lot of economic hits coming out of the Epstein files. We have other news not in the Epstein files where it's been said that, like I said, the UAE government or royal from the UAE has invested in WLFI from the beginning, owning 49%. And now the administration is saying we know nothing about that. I think that we're going to see more as we go forward. And I think that's going to have an impact on people because people are starting to ask, well, the oil that you sold from Venezuela is now sitting in Qatar. So, and it was kind of like the same amount of money, and only you have access to it. Number one, illegal. Two, if you didn't know about that, how are you going to manage that? If you didn't know about that 500 million, how are you going to manage this 500 million? That's what people are asking. That's a scary thought, that our government is misplacing money and nobody knows. Nobody knows. And I'm just wondering, like, how do we handle that going forward? Right? I mean, we don't seem to be making the right economic moves at this point. We really don't. We're going after schools. You know, we're trying to sue Harvard, or he's trying to sue Harvard. From an economic perspective, from a bags perspective, I think on the global stage, countries start to look at us and go, yeah, we made the right decision by wanting to buy more gold. And they are buying more gold than U.S. treasuries. So again, that's the first time that's happened in like forever. So that's a big deal. That is a very big deal. Good morning, Enrique. Don't forget to invest in yourself today. Everybody, don't forget to invest in yourself today. It's a very big deal. So we're implementing, just so you know, we're implementing a couple of things right now in the community. We want to move the conversation over to growmybag.tv. So unless you're a subscriber on YouTube, you're not going to be able to make comments on the videos. So I hope you subscribe. I mean, it's good stuff. At least we think so. That's one. Two, the conversation and the content and the information and the tools over on Grow My Bag are getting better. We've got a full-blown social media platform over there where you can connect with people, you can have DMs, you can have private conversations, all that good stuff, and you have access to a regular feed, and you can actually take classes. So we're about to open that up. So there's a lot of stuff going on over at growmybag.tv. So go check out all those articles that we have over there. Take advantage. It's cheap. $1 a month. We kind of made it a no-brainer for everybody. We kind of really did make it a no-brainer for everybody. Then we have, last year, tokenized assets started, popping off. You'd have something over here, something over there, something over here, something over there. And now, in 2026, we're suspecting that tokenized assets are going to really start ramping up. It's not going to hit a crescendo. It's not going to hit that plateau or anything else like that. But you're really starting to see things start to ramp up in the RWA space, right? Tokenization is a very big deal. The idea that you have so many things moving over into the space, that you stocks, bonds, options, you just have a lot of things that people are looking to go, hey, maybe we can tokenize that and actually do something. 24/7 trading for certain assets, it's a big deal. It's really opening eyes. And it's making people go, whoa, are we behind or are we right on time? And I think that's where a lot of companies are right now. Something else that's going on. ING Deutschland, ING Bank Deutschland, launched crypto-backed ETFs for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana through their securities accounts. Just saying. You're looking at banks around the world start to realize there are things that we should be involved in, and we're going to be involved in them right now. That's a big move. I believe ING is Germany's largest. So kind of a big deal. Bitcoin closed below the 100-week moving average at 76,931. I use that word close lightly because it's just a period of time a day, because we all know that crypto doesn't sleep. Putting that out there for you to remind you that crypto does not trade like stocks trade. And I can tell you now, stocks I don't think are going to be trading. Give it by the end of the year. Stocks are not going to be trading the way they've been trading. That's going to be a big deal. So yeah, I'm finding things very interesting. Very, very interesting. What else do we have? Ethereum fell. I covered yesterday. Ethereum had fallen like 22% when we looked at it. We'll look at the numbers again today, but it had fallen like 22%, 22.32%. At last night's show, that's a huge drop. That's a huge drop in a month. Something else that we pointed out is that it had dropped 2x more than Bitcoin's 10%. Here's something else to think about. You have to look at all of the altcoins when you're looking for percentage falls. Because when I see something like Ethereum take that much of a drop, it makes me salivate. I know. The reason why is because to me, it's a buying opportunity. There are certain things out there that I look at and I just go, holy moly, that's Ethereum on sale. See what I mean? So the same way that Ethereum drops harder than Bitcoin, Ethereum can also rise more than Bitcoin. Because I don't know if you were noticing, but Ethereum was consistently higher than Bitcoin when it was positive year to date. Now you understand why I tell you guys to get the rhythm of the coins that you're involved in. And the reason why is because when bad news hits, you want to understand how that bad news or good news can affect a given project or coin or investment in general. And these are tools that you need to use every day. These are mental tools that you need to use every day. This is why I tell you guys, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Know what you're doing, be sure-footed, and know when, right? As it applies to your bags. That's the big deal. Wow. It's like I didn't wash my face, but I know I did. So you start to realize, I need to do more research. I need to be more cognizant of what's moving, what's not moving. I need to be more cognizant of what complements my current portfolio and is not, an advantage to my current portfolio. I need to understand, have I done the research or am I reacting to others? Right? Because I can have a fear of missing out, and that missing out can come in two flavors, right? Fear of missing out of the drive up, fear of missing out on the drive down. Let me remove my money so I don't get involved in that risk. There are a lot of people right now that are thinking, well, when we were at 95, 96 just a little while ago, and 93, 94 just a little while ago, maybe I should have pulled out then, because we've literally dropped 20,000 on Bitcoin alone. So if you'd have pulled out then, you'd have had that money sitting on the side, and then you could say, well, I can sprinkle some in right now, and my price point is lower now, which means I was able to get more for my value. Exactly. But some people just want to hold on and just leave it like that. I respect that too. But like I said, it depends on your risk framework. This is why I tell people all the time, do your work in developing your risk framework. That's going to help you in the long run. It'll help you understand how your brain is thinking. And you might recognize, ooh, my brain might not be thinking correctly. Let me go fix that. Okay. A fox and a squirrel. That's nice. No, the squirrel was not getting chased by the fox, although that does happen. What else do we have? Tether launched an open source mining OS, MOS, for Bitcoin mining, emphasizing decentralization and compatibility, marking its expansion beyond stablecoins into infrastructure. I keep telling people, pay attention to Tether, pay attention to what they're doing. Pay attention to what they're doing. They're doing some crazy things. Something else that they did is they integrated USDT well, they integrated USDT and Tether Gold into Opera's, the browser, mini pay wallet, which processed 350 million transactions and grew 50% in 2025. It's in 60 countries. And what was the other number? 16.6 million wallets. Smart move by Tether. I keep telling people, the distance between Circle and Tether is huge. It's huge. And Tether's doing way more than just playing around with stable coins. And don't forget, they also, like I said, they also do have Tether Gold. Competition to Pax G. Just saying. Ripple secured a Luxembourg EMI license, full, which means that I keep telling people there are certain places in the world or certain spots in Europe that if you do business there, you can do business across Europe. Luxembourg is one of those spots. If you go in through Luxembourg, you can go in and you can hit anything. And that's not a small thing. Not a small thing. That's huge. Ripple is making all the right moves at all the right times right now. When I look at Ripple, I see a company that's firing on all pistons. And what does that mean? It means the rails that they're laying down to be a part of that infrastructure are solid. Just saying. Enrique, the risk of Tether depegging is what leads me to believe they are so widely diversified. Let me think about that for a minute. I don't necessarily disagree. I feel like hair is in my mouth or something like that. I will say this about Tether. There were many times that Tether could have depegged. There are many times that Tether could have depegged. One of the things that makes it difficult for Tether to be depegged is they've been through the trial, they've been through the fires. They've got reserve backing things. So the fear of that depegging is significantly decreased. Significantly decreased. I mean, Tether's market cap right now, or USDT's market cap right now, is $185 billion. And I believe they have more than that in reserves and operating cash. So it makes people stop and Tether's everywhere. Tether's everywhere. If you're looking to actually trade something, here's one of the rules that I actually have for myself. If I can't buy it with Tether, I shouldn't be buying it. So maybe it's, you could buy it with USDC. If I can't buy it with Tether, maybe I shouldn't be buying it. Because who's been here longer? USDT, not USDC. So, yeah. If I can't buy it with USDT, I question my thought process at that moment. I don't necessarily question the project. I mean, I do question the project, but I'm really questioning my own thought process. It's like it's like I have an out of body experience, and I go, "You want to buy that?" And then I start digging deeper into the coin. Why do you want to buy that? What else is it paired with? Then I start asking simple questions like, so what are the exchanges that it's on? And you start looking at all the exchanges. And then I want to know, how did you get paired with USDC and not paired with USDT? Right? If I come out with a new project, one of the first things I'm going to want is to be paired with USDT. I thank you, whatever exchange for pairing us with USDC, but really? What's the thought process behind that? I want to know. Yes, I understand what you're saying. But for me, Tether's the one. I have issues with. I really do have issues with USDC. I try to use USDC as little as possible. I don't know. It's just my own little thing. Just not a big fan. Not a huge fan. I use it. Don't get me wrong. I use it. I just find that I use USDT more than I use USDC. There are some exchanges that are strictly USDT. They've got a lot more pairs with USDT than they do with USDC. So it's kind of like, I'll run with that. I think that's what it is. It's just a matter of more options for me. It's just a matter of more options. When I really break it down, that's all it is. Galaxy Digital increased crypto exposure by purchasing shares of Robinhood, Circle, and Block, despite Bitcoin's 39% decline from its October 2025 high. Mike Novogratz and his team over at Galaxy Digital, they're really smart people. Another company that stepped up their crypto purchases, ARK Investments, or ARK Invest. They stepped up their crypto. Just saying. So I'm like, oh, okay. And Mike Novogratz is on there, and he's saying, listen, we could see further downside. There's some economists out there, some people out there saying we could see further downside to Bitcoin and crypto in general. We could. They still bought. And that wasn't just a part of a DCA strategy. That was, no, we're investing more. And we're investing more in companies that are involved. Just saying. What else do we have? Bitcoin 16% weekly drop, triggered record retail selling and negative sentiment. Yeah, we dropped to 14 as a sentiment. I think today we're at 17. We'll go through the numbers in a little bit. 65% of surveyed family offices prioritized AI investments over crypto, 17%, with minimal gold and digital asset allocations, though Asian offices showed rising crypto interest. Yes. You want to know why? It's easier to deal in crypto than it is to deal in the renminbi or yuan, because I can move that. People, the people in China, people that of means, are looking for ways to maneuver their money outside of China, and are doing it in wild ways. From buying expensive Pokemon cards, right, and then taking them over to the United States, and then selling those same Pokemon cards, sometimes to the same company, because I'm not moving money. I'm not moving money out of the country. So that's an older trick. Going to the underground banking system. Yes, that's what I mean. So going to the underground banking system, I can buy goods in China and have those goods shipped while somebody else takes their money and does what I need them to do outside of China. You get washed money, and I get what I wanted to purchase. Ta-da. Yeah, so just saying, there are good reasons, there are bad reasons, but yeah, Asia's looking toward crypto in a masterful fashion. Masterful fashion. And I mean masterful. I chose that word on purpose. But you know what we should do? We should go over the numbers. That's right. Let me get my notes out of the way. We'll start down there. All right. So right now, Dow futures implied open 52 down. S&P futures implied open 575. That's basically unchanged. NASDAQ futures implied open $89 up, or 89 points up. Sorry. Oil down, up 11 cents. US 10-year down 0.01. See those lights? Kind of neutral. Yeah, kind of neutral right now. Just saying. That deal between the United States and India, it's not a deal yet. It's not a deal yet. I'm starting to pay attention to what's being announced, right? They always announce, oh, hey, we have a deal. No, you do not have a deal. You have a verbal or you have a handshake, but it's not done yet. You only have two that are done. Paying attention to the difference between the announcement that we have a deal and the deal actually being done. And, with softness in the jobs market, there are a lot of people in the money game that are kind of saying, yeah, we could be a little frothy right now. We could possibly be a little frothy right now. We should be paying attention to this stuff. Who's got numbers coming out? We just saw that Merck came out with their numbers. Estimates post-modest 226 outlook. We'll see what happens with that. Generic competition. Okay. So Merck just came out waiting for AMD, Pepsi, Amgen, Pfizer. Who else am I looking at? Chubb, because of insurance. I'd be looking at that. Mondelez, I'd be looking at that for obvious reasons. Food and all that kind of stuff. Marathon Petroleum, Ametek, Chipotle Mexican Grill, something else I'd be looking at. PayPal is another one. I really want to hear what PayPal has to say. And people are like, why? PayPal's got its own stablecoin. PayPal has its own captive audience. PayPal just came out with a report that says 39% of the businesses that use PayPal are using crypto, are using Bitcoin. Just saying. So those are big things that I'm paying attention to. Today's Tuesday. We get the jobs openings, but been a little bit late, right? Because it's government shutdown. So are we going to get it today? Probably not. It's supposed to, but probably not. Supposed to get it last week. Probably not. Like I said, the fear and greed index is at 17. Yesterday we were at 14. The DeFi Llama, 105. We're at 105.144 billion in total value locked. Less people staking. I keep my stuff there. I'm staking. I don't care. Bitcoin looking like we're trying to come back a little bit, but do you see how far we fell? Do you see how far we fell? Yeah. And below that 75 mark. Below that 75 mark. Right now, we're finding it hard to stay above 77. Look at my number right here that I called a long time ago, 77,252. And we busted through that floor. We busted way through that floor and approached 73,750. We're so far down in my chart, I have to scroll like this to get back to where we once were. You see that? See how far that is? We're a far cry. Now, can we get back? Sure. But look at that 200-day moving average. Does that look like we're changing? Does that look like we found the floor? It looks like we'd have to come a little bit lower before we come back up. The momentum is you're still going to go a little bit lower. That's what the momentum says to me. Just saying. What else do we have? We have things on sale. Oh boy, do we have things on sale. I mean, wasn't it just a few days ago that Ethereum was above 3,000? Look at that. I think that's a 1,000 point move. I'm just saying, $1,000 move. Yeah. GMB, that's a big drop. It was above 1,000 at one point just a couple of weeks ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago. These are the things that I'm looking at. I'm looking at opportunities like that. Hype is on fire because they're looking into prediction markets and stuff like that, and people are loving that idea. So Hype is on fire. Just saying, pay attention to these things. There are opportunities that are going to be giving you more money in the future. Pay attention to those opportunities. Got to pay attention to those opportunities. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Leverage your risk framework. Don't have one? Develop your risk framework. The more that you understand how you think, how you feel, how you do your research into your investments, the better off you'll be, because so many people don't understand how they think. Again, I keep saying that part of your risk framework is your gut. Somewhere in your brain, it knows your risk framework. And it shows up with your gut. My gut says, yeah, don't do that. That feeling when you want to do something or you don't want to do something just based on a feeling. It's not really a feeling. Someplace in your head, You've run through your own calculations. It happened quick and it shot you a fast answer. But I'm sure if you sat down and you thought about it and you wrote it down, you'd figure out what your risk framework is. What triggers something positive? What triggers something negative? Just saying. What else do we have on the big board? Yeah, this is painful. Look at that. Ethereum down 23.18% year to date. Bitcoin down 10.67% year to date. Ethereum's down more than 2x compared to Bitcoin. Not a great position unless you're looking for something on sale. But then you scoot down here to Hyperliquid, and year to date, it's up 42.27%. That's when you start to have your wow moments. You start to go, ooh, that looks good. Crypto's not looking good right now from what perspective? From a hey, we went down perspective, or from a wow, things are on sale perspective? It's all about how you think about it. I look at it as things are on sale. Yay. I know I'm insane. I know. I want to see what today's losers are. Who are today's losers that I care about? So right there, everything stops right there. Do I care about any of these? Axie Infinity only because, I'm into that whole metaverse thing. They're down 8.49% with a GMB factor of 105.39. Yeah. We're going to have to come up with new benchmarks for certain things, but I think metaverse is starting to wake up. It'll still be a couple of years, but I think metaverse is starting to wake up. Really do. Let's see. Go further down. Your 5% ends almost at the bottom of the list. So that means from the top 25 to the bottom 25, all these guys are moving, sideways. So Stacks, wow, 21.8% move with 11.18 GMB X factor. I've always paid attention to Stacks, so I do have a teensy-weensy bag of Stacks. Let's see. Hyperliquid, like I said, up 15.76%. GMB X factor of 0.64. Yesterday, that GMB X factor was 0.99. It was 0.99. Now you know why we have these numbers, so we can pay attention and we can recall them and we can say, oh man, is this an opportunity? That was an opportunity. Polygon up 11.94%, GMB X factor of 10.09. I still love Polygon. Just saying. True, all the big leagues like BlackRock are selling now. It's time for us to take advantage of it. Is BlackRock really selling? BlackRock manages a lot of money. These are temporary moves. They had been when everything went down the first time, they were buyers. They were buyers. So pay attention. Don't just look at the major headline. Dig deep to see, are they really selling? Or is it that fund that's selling, but this fund is not? That's what you have to do with BlackRock. That's what you have to do with a couple of them. Pay attention to that stuff. What else do we have? Polygon. Anybody else I care about on this list so far? Aster is up 6.96% with a GMB X factor 3.05. Yes, I still hold a bag of Aster. It's down a tremendous amount. A tremendous amount. Trust me. Canton is something I have not been paying attention to. It's been up 6.6%. It's at all-time highs. It's got a GMB X factor of 0.02. I have done zero research on Canton. Obviously, I need to look at the ranking. I need to pay attention to it. I should have been paying attention to it when it started moving from, as soon as you hit the top 250, that's when I should have automatic reports coming in about it. I should have a list of, well, this just entered the top 250. It's a meme coin. It's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. Here's its primary use case. I should set up a bot to do that. I should set up a bot to do that for me. Yeah, that sounds like a useful idea. Jupiter up 5.88% with a GMB X factor of 9.09. Remember, they're trying to bring prediction markets to Solana as well. Who else? Caspa is up 5.82, GMB X factor 5.24. Tezos, interesting, is up 5.17%, GMB X factor of 17.79. And then it stops there because you hit my 5% rule right there. Just saying. There are opportunities that we should be paying attention to. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. If you didn't catch all the articles, all the news that I've given, go to growmybag.tv and you'll see all the articles right there. Whatever I talk about is usually published first. So check it out. And that's what I mean by membership has its benefits, because pretty soon there are a couple other features that we want to launch. Once we launch those features, you're going to have to be a member to read all the articles. And 99 times out of 100, we publish the articles first. Then we do the show. Just saying. Just saying. There's a lot of work that goes in this stuff. So become a member. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, smash the likes. It really helps with the algorithms. Definitely go over to GrowMyBag.tv, become a member. It's $1 a year. $1 a month to become a member, which is not a lot for everything that we give you. And you have the opportunity to join different groups. You have the opportunity, like we have an SMB group that's coming along. We have a big bagger group. We have that big bagger group. We actually meet once a month. We meet once a month, which means this weekend we're going to have a big bagger meeting, because every second Sunday of the month we have a big bagger meeting where we get on a video conference call and we chew the fat about what's going on. Everything that can affect my bags or our bags. That's what we talk about. Floor is open. We all speak. I moderate. That's a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes, become a member. And as always, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye. See you tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on The Overflow. Bye-bye.